Welcome to Cricket World TV Hotspot, our second Indian Premier League hotspot since the tournament got underway. I'm John Pennington. I'm in the UK. I've got two guests with me this week. I've got Mike Bhattacharya in Kolkata and Chetan Narula in Delhi. Hello to you, Chetan.
Hello, John, and welcome to our viewers here on Hotspot once again.
And good day to you, Mayuk.
Good day, John, and hello, Chetan. Welcome to all our viewers.
Good stuff. So, well, Chetan and I had a pretty in-depth podcast chat on Sunday. I'd recommend giving that a listen if you want to get a really good recap the sort of week before. But we're going to really concentrate on what's happened this week. So, Chetan, I want to start with you by just giving your view on the game between Delhi and Kolkata earlier in the week. Kolkata winning and Delhi not able to transfer that winning run into a third win in a row. Just give us your thoughts on that one.
Well, they didn't get many runs on board. I mean, 140 is never really a target. That's quite troublesome. I mean, if it's supposed to prove troublesome, you need to take at least 3 wickets in the first 4 or 5 overs. But that was never the case. Kolkata were perhaps a little too strong for Delhi on the night, and even if you look at it, I think they're perhaps a little too strong on paper also as compared to Delhi. Delhi are a team that is just coming together, and I mean, we had discussed last week that it's. They're going to be there or thereabouts. They're going to be days when they're going to have everything coming together for them, and they're going to be days when they'll run into stronger teams. That was that was clearly the day that they ran into a stronger team, top order in form. They didn't really get to test the middle order. Like I said, they needed to take early wickets when you were defending 140 runs. I'm not sure about their batting order. Haven't been sure about their batting order with Yuvraj Singh coming in at number 5, especially. I think he should be batting at number 3. There's a little doubt about him batting at number 3 against faster bowlers with the new ball, but it's a 20 overs innings. You can't really hide anywhere. So he has to bat at number 3. I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'm not happy with their batting order, and especially on that night, he came in to bat at number 5. The best they can do is perhaps send Manoj Tiwari at number 3, but they're not even doing that. They're sending JP Duminy. JP Duminy to me is essentially a finisher. So yeah, they got off to a bad start, and didn't really capitalize on it. 146 on a Kotla wicket, which is not even a slow turner anymore. Earlier you used to see that Kotla wickets are slow turners, but that's not even happening. So 140 was never going to be defended unless they had unless KKR had a top order collapse. But that didn't really happen given the form that Varun Gambhir is in, and it ended up for a victory for KKR, and they'll be pleased because they've now, they're getting back those points and getting that run together. And when you're traveling away from home, it's important that you get the victory under your belt.
And just coming to you on this one, Mike, anything to add from your point of view on this game?
I think he summed it up pretty nicely. Their batting order has been inspired. Yuvraj Singh, yes, he has. I think Tiwari and Yuvraj both look settled. They were about to launch an attack and they got out at the wrong time. Had they stayed along, maybe they could have scored those 15-20 extra runs. So I think they got out at crucial times, both of them. And if required, I think Manoj Tiwari, he can necessarily open the innings. I don't think Mayank Agarwal has the same kind of consistency. He's shown it in all the seasons he's played so far. He just plays 1 or 2 innings of substance in all throughout this tournament. So they can probably push Tiwari up the order and make him open and utilize the likes of Yuvraj and Duminy better. That's what I feel.
And we do quite often in the IPL, I suppose, given that you're going to cram lots of games in a short time period, often see some bizarre dismissals. What about Yuvraj Singh's run out? Who wants to sort of pass comment on that one?
Well, I thought it was perhaps one of the weirdest dismissals I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the basic instinct of a batsman is to jump back into the crease. Even if you look at that dismissal, Yuvraj Singh, when he played the ball, he just moved a couple of steps forward. And he didn't know where the ball was. So the basic instinct for a batsman is to place his back foot back into the crease. And Robin Uthappa stumped him on the second attempt, I think, if not the third. So he had a lot of time for that instinct to come back, to plant his back foot into the crease again. So yeah, pretty weird for a dismissal, and pretty shocking that Yuvraj was completely unaware where the ball was. That can happen, but for his back foot to not move into the crease, yeah, it really just, wrong dismissal, wrong at the wrong time. Maybe if he had played a few more overs, maybe 160 on board, maybe a little more trouble for Kolkata Knight Riders, because the pressure of a chase is different when you're chasing 7 and over or 8 and over. But having said that, one of the weirdest dismissals I've ever seen.
Mike, what about you? One of the weirdest you've seen?
I actually missed the dismissal, so I won't be able to comment on it.
Right, you have to have a look on YouTube or Vine. It was truly strange. So you have a look at that one, and after we've done our hotspot, of course, we're going to move on to yesterday's game, which was something of a thriller between the previously unbeaten Rajasthan Royals and the Kings 11 Punjab side that had struggled a little bit in recent games, went all the way to a super over, and the Kings 11 Punjab prevailed. Mark, I'm going to come to you first on this one, because you're a bit of a Rajasthan Royals fan and a Rahul Dravid fan, I understand, and his face after the end of that one was quite a picture, wasn't it? And understandably so, perhaps.
Yes, actually, if you look at it, people were skeptical at the start whether the Rajasthan Royals, they've won all their games chasing, so they were skeptical about the fact whether they'll be able to put up a big score, which they managed to do. And throughout the first 10 overs, I think they were in control of the game while Punjab were batting. They needed about 132 of the last 10 overs, and somehow they managed to let it slip. Sean Marsh, where was he hiding? He's the highest run scorer for Kings 11 Punjab, and he showed his class again yesterday. The form of James Faulkner for Rajasthan Royals, I think, is a worry, because he's had 2 games in between, but of late he's been going for a few runs. The decision to play Dinesh Salunke, they might look back and think about it. But overall, I think the Royals, it was more of a match the Royals lost than Punjab won. And the super over was an absolute thriller. That was again, they started on identical notes, I guess. Wicket of the first ball, followed by a no ball and a boundary. But yeah, in the end, Johnson showed his experience and class, and 14 runs of the super over was always going 14, I guess, maybe 14 or 15. I don't remember the exact number, but yeah, that was always going to be a tough number to chase down against Johnson.
Certainly was, and Chetan, I suppose this was a rare occasion, really, where a team batting second got quite a long way behind the rate, but managed to pull it back thanks to the efforts of Sean Marsh and David Miller to tie the game and then take it into the super over, where I guess anything can happen.
Well, yes, Kings 11 Punjab will have a little bit on will have their hands full, trying to see how they can fit Sean Marsh into that 11, because George Bailey's out injured, and we know that Virendra Sehwag is not really, he doesn't really want to lead the side. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to have somebody else, maybe somebody like Mitchell Johnson lead, if they decide that George Bailey doesn't fit into the plans anymore. We've seen that happen to George Bailey recently when he was captaining the side, and then he goes out of the team and he never returns. So, but this time around, obviously, it's a bit different because he's been injured. About the super over, I thought it was the weirdest or the most boring super over contest I've ever seen, because a bit of an anticlimax, really, because Chris Morris got that LBW, and he bowled 4 full tosses in that one over, which you're not really supposed to do. I know he's trying to get it into the block or trying to bowl Yorkers, but come on, you can't really bowl full tosses. So he had 4 full tosses in there. Mitchell Johnson showed him how. Shane Watson played an absolutely pathetic shot first up, moving away towards the leg stump, just moving too much away from the leg stump. So it was one of those super overs, and then obviously that second run out. So I think James Faulkner, his form hasn't been the best, but I think he's just really struggling to cope with the workload that he's being given, because he's bowling. He's one of the prime bowlers, bowling all 4 overs. Then he's just given the responsibility to finish the innings for them as well. So for me, the big surprise for Rajasthan was that they did not send Deepak Hooda to hit out, or even Stuart Binney for that matter. Steve Smith is not your quintessential hitter of the ball. He's not going to launch sixes from the word go. If there is, in the super over, especially when you're 1 down with Shane Watson out, obviously yes, you need to you need to appoint or name your 3 players beforehand. So it was a surprise that Steve Smith was their third choice, not somebody like Stuart Binney or even I wouldn't even keep Ajinkya Rahane. People, there was some talk on Twitter that Ajinkya Rahane didn't come out. I agree with that. You need your big hitters there. Shane Watson is a big hitter. James Faulkner is a big hitter, but yeah, I would have gambled on Deepak Hooda because he has this knack of hitting the big shots. For Calcutta, it's somebody like Surya Kumar Yadav. He does that. So this is the role that Deepak Hooda is now doing for Rajasthan Royals. He was promoted in the order during the normal course of the innings as well. So if that could happen then, and you need 14 runs off just 5 deliveries, so why couldn't it happen now? So yeah, I'm not sure Rajasthan picked the right people to bat or bowl. Chris Morris, yes, maybe I thought James Faulkner should have bowled that over, but yeah, not the best of selection from Rajasthan. Kings 11, they've got a lifeline now. They moved to Mohali. So yeah, first and not to mention first defeat for Rajasthan Royals this season.
Absolutely, and it does mean that things are perhaps shaken up a little bit because every team has won at least one game now, and every team has now lost at least one game as well. Chetan, I can see you keeping a close eye on proceedings in the game that's going on at the moment. Sunrise, I think, posted 177 for 4. What's the latest in Kolkata's reply?
Well, Kolkata have just lost the match. I was just switching between channels, and yeah, Kolkata have lost via Dirk Lewis. The scores were reduced. I'm not sure what the score line was, but 12 was their target, and they have lost by I think lost by 14 runs.
Your snap, and Mike, are you going to come in with a bit of snap analysis for us?
Yeah, I think their target was something around 119, I guess, and last I saw they needed 38 runs of 19 balls. Good win, I think. Much needed win for Sunrisers.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Very much needed win for the Sunrisers, and a little bit up and down for Kolkata because I think that means they've one lost, or vice versa. So they'll be looking to get a little bit more consistency. Looking ahead to the remaining games this week, Mike, I know that you're heading off to one. Just give us your thoughts ahead of this week and maybe what you're most looking forward to.
I'm actually going for Sunday's game between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Rajasthan Royals. I haven't had much luck supporting the Royals in Kolkata because they've lost on all occasions I've been there. So hoping for a change over there. Apart from that, what other games do we have? Let me check the fixtures once. Delhi versus Mumbai tomorrow. I think that is Mumbai will be looking for another win. They played about 5 matches and just won 1, so and Delhi have lost 9 matches consecutively at the Kotla, so they'll also be desperate to turn things around for themselves at home. So to prevent extending their losing record. And Mumbai, I think finally found a settled lineup. Although the Indian seamers contingent, the part of Indian seamer still remains a worry for them. Be it Jasprit Bumrah, Vinay Kumar, and Pawan Suyal, all 3 of them haven't really looked the part. I was surprised actually that they dropped Corey Anderson all of a sudden for the last match to bring in Mitchell McClenaghan. I expected McClenaghan to come. Sorry?
Corey Anderson was out injured. He was not dropped.
Okay, sorry.
So it's sometimes hard to keep track of who's injured and who's not, but carry on, Mike.
Yeah, so Mumbai will be looking to continue, and they'll be hoping for a score from Parthiv Patel, who's probably the only batsman now who hasn't scored runs in the top 4. And after that, you've got Royals taking on you've got a Royal clash between Rajasthan and Bangalore on the 24th. So that will be the match where I think Rajasthan will be looking to come back from this shock defeat which they had yesterday.
Good stuff. Coming to you, Chetan, I think I'm right in saying you'll be at the Kotla for Delhi Mumbai, but what else are you sort of most looking forward to towards the end of the week?
Well, we have got a couple of interesting matchups over the weekend, John. We have obviously Delhi, Mumbai. I'm not sure if Mumbai have really turned the corner. I'm pretty sure they're going to change everything around again. Victory, I mean, they've done it before, they'll do it again. This is what Mumbai Indians do. They just chop, change, you know, just change everything whenever they want to. So I'm not sure. I think Delhi are stronger. Delhi have this. I mean, they have a bit of confidence going in the side. If it's not even not really showing consistently on the field, but I think Mumbai Indians at the moment are not really that strong or haven't really turned that corner as yet. They need 2 or 3 or at least 3 or 4 victories together to just make a case that okay, we've got we've got our confidence back. So that's not really happening for Mumbai Indians at the moment, but it could get interesting. T20 is a format, we don't really know how it's going to happen. The other, obviously, small ground, and we have the Royal Challengers Bangalore coming on Sunday to Delhi as well. So that's an interesting game in itself. But before that, we have Chennai Super Kings and Kings 11 Punjab. Rajasthan Royals have 2 matches against Kolkata Knight Riders and Royal Challengers Bangalore. So they'll have their hands full because not really a great feeling losing a super over like that. They were pretty shell-shocked going into the super over, like you had mentioned. Sean Marsh helping them recover, helping the Kings 11 Punjab recover and taking the match into the super over. So clearly not the best of times to be a Rajasthan Royals player in that particular match. And two heavy duty matches coming up, Royal Challengers and Kolkata Knight Riders. So pretty interesting weekend of matches, as always the case with an IPL lineup.
Yes, and absolutely. So plenty to look forward to there the coming days and obviously the weekend as well. So I think we're just about to wrap it up there, chaps. Thank you very much for your time today. Thank you, Chetan.
Not a problem, John.
And thank you, Mayak.
Thank you, JP. Yeah, welcome, most welcome, and nice hearing you, Chetan. Loved your inputs.
And indeed, thank you very much for everybody tuning in here on Cricket World TV.